I just want to, welcome the rest of the group to our Facebook Live right now. 5:30 on Wednesdays we do this, and if you haven't checked it out before, stick around. I think you'll find it to be pretty interesting. Yeah, this month's unit on Slick is all about installing neo-angle enclosures, and so the clinic happens at 5 o'clock Pacific time, the third Thursday of every month. So that is tomorrow. It's the third Thursday of this month. So we'll be doing our clinic at 5 p.m. tomorrow. So if you're not a member of Slick yet, it's not too late to join up. So you can just go to glassgadget.com, click on Slick, tell you all about it. You can sign up. It'll be awesome. And the clinic's a lot like this. We'll talk a little bit about the unit, and then we'll just talk about other stuff. But we've got several guys who are involved in the group now. It's turned into be a pretty cool group. So anyway, we're just talking a little bit about how to recruit employees, and some tips and tricks for finding help, and Bill Dobbin was just chiming in, said he had some stuff to talk about on this topic, I think. Is that right, Bill?
I do, and it's really interesting. And now it depends on the scale of the size of your business and what kind of time you have. But I'm on the local Economic Development Council board, and our goal and our vision was to help local businesses expand and retain employees. So one of the projects that I took on and I'm quarterbacking is a function called Workforce Signing Day, which is similar to when high school athletes get a day to go to college and they get a scholarship to go play football or basketball. They have a big function in the gymnasium and they have a signing day. So the kid commits to Michigan University and a representative from Michigan gives them a shirt and a hat and they celebrate that. So what we're going to do in Lee County, which encompasses Fort Myers, Cape Coral, quite a bit of area, is we're going to have Workforce Signing Day. So kids that are coming out of high school that are going directly into the workforce, and it doesn't matter if it's a hotel, restaurant, trades, McDonald's, it doesn't really matter. If they're going directly into the workforce, we're going to have a big celebration day for them. And we're going to mate up the students with the future employers. So if he's going to work for a car dealership, he'll get a Chevrolet shirt and whatever that dealership is. If he's going to be a heating air conditioning guy. Now, the beauty of what we're doing is because I'm quarterbacking it, it's going to be held at our location. So it's going to be at the glass shop. And we're expecting between 150 and 200 students throughout Lee County that are going directly into the workforce. And there's other students that are looking for work. And again, we're trying to mate them up with employers that are looking for help. So it's a big collaborative, but we're getting so much free press out of it because the press loves it. And it's going to be the first event after COVID. So after they've been shutting down, they haven't had any in-person events in over a year. So they're going to use this as a test. They're going to be very conscientious of social distancing and sanitary disposal and social distancing. But if it works out well, they're going to go to live graduations this year. So we're kind of like under the microscope of the school department. But if we pull it off, it's going to be a big deal. So I'll be recording it. But the reason I wanted to share it with the group is you can do the same thing on a smaller scale with your local Chamber of Commerce's. Get involved with the chamber and say, look, I got this idea. And let's try and mate up these high school kids with somebody looking for jobs, whether it's accounting or office help or even a wait staff at local hotels and restaurants. But you're going to find a couple that really want to get into the trades and make some serious money. And you'll be able to benefit from your hard work of putting this thing together.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
And at the same time, you're serving the whole community. I mean, not just recruiting people for your business, but helping other business people in your area recruit for their businesses too.
Yeah, is that a national association or just local?
No, this is just through our Economic Development Council, local, but almost every community has an Economic Development Council or Chamber of Commerce or both, depending on the size of it. But the EDC is just perfect for that. So Governor DeSantis, who's getting really well known across the country, he's a big proponent of jobs and job creation. So we've got an invitation out to him to come to this event because this is really his pet project.
That's
So
really
we've got an
cool.
invitation out to him and a few other dignitaries in the area to an event. I'll send it on to Max Perlstein. I'm sure he'll put a blog out about it.
Max is the man.
He is.
He knows everybody.
He does. And he gets the word out really quick.
Oh yeah, hey, I'm glad you brought up Max because the other day I was doing an installation and I plugged in Max's podcast.
Yeah.
And dude, it was really, really good. He does a podcast. I think he does one a month, and he'll have like 3 different people from the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, just totally different part of the glass industry. Just do a little interview. So it's kind of like, I don't know, 10 minutes or 15 minutes with each one. And if you're not getting that podcast, it's from the Fabricator, Max Perlstein's podcast. If you're not listening to that, you should really check it out. It's pretty cool, and it gives you some insight into what's going on in the industry. Not just our little segment of the industry, but kind of the greater industry. So that's a little plug for Max's podcast.
I want to know why he's not here in the group.
Yeah, that's right. Where's that guy?
This is my first time hearing of this Max Perlstein.
Oh,
I feel like
geez.
I'm behind the 8 ball here.
Are
Totally,
you kidding
man.
me? He's the
Yeah.
man. He's
He
like the
is,
spokesman
man.
of the glass.
As I'm over here taking notes, Max Perlstein, get to know him,
Yep, from the Fabricator. I mean, he's got a blog that's run for I don't know how long, many years. He knows everybody. I mean, he's introduced me to so many people in the industry, and he's salt of the earth, man. I mean, I've never heard anybody say a bad word about Matt Perlstein, and they better not. Let me say bad words. I'm telling you.
Before everyone hopped on, Craig had brought up a really good point about recruiting and hiring, about going after carpenters, just because they have like more of like skilled trade problem solvers. They like to build things. I don't know, that kind of resonated well with me. So I didn't know if we were live yet. Wanted to repeat that for everybody else.
Yeah, that's a great point. That makes a lot of sense, really. Somebody who already knows how to read a tape measure, pick something up, use a power tool.
Novel.
You got all the skills, man.
Yeah, just don't let them use the nail gun when putting their glass joints together.
No wood glue.
Exactly.
So who's got another kind of creative tip for recruiting qualified help?
Well, what we've done in the past is, we go out to eat a lot, and a lot of the servers, they got sucky hours, and we just get to know the people and say, hey, look, if you're looking for full-time work where you can have your nights off and go play with your buddies, you might want to look into this because it's a lot better than serving tables and working till 10, 11 o'clock on, they're working hours that we're off. Anybody in the entertainment business, if it's hotels, valet services, any of those guys, I think they would really like to work a normal, 8 to 5 day as opposed to, starting at 5 and working till 10 at night. To just try and look for personalities and somebody's dedicated and offer them a job. And we've been successful with that.
Yeah, we've done it with like baggers and stuff from the grocery stores and stuff. They're hustling around all the time and usually pretty good, some of them. So we've gotten a couple kids from that.
If you play golf, the guys at the golf course are really good, whether it's the baggers or even some of the pros. They don't make a lot of money in the golf industry, or the assistant pros, I should say.
Yeah.
Golf industry guys are really good. They're smart.
Yeah, and a great thing about like in the hospitality industry is that you get a chance to kind of see what a person's attitude is like.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's such a huge part of a good employee is just having a good attitude, right?
Hey, we tell our installers all the time is, half your job is installing, the rest of it is acting. You got to come in and you got to introduce yourself to the people right away and take their defenses down. Because if you don't, they think you're sneaking and they're going to be over your shoulder the whole installation. You go in there, you make them feel at ease that you know what you're doing. And sometimes you don't, but you got to fake it. But it's a big deal to really have that rapport with the customer. Then their defenses are down and they're not so picky over the little things. And they make more tips, which I don't want to know anything about.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I worked in the hospitality industry. You know, whenever I was out of the glass industry, I was kind of working in the restaurant industry. And one thing about working in a restaurant is like you know, you work for somebody who you don't like, and then you don't get paid. Whereas in the glass industry, you might work for someone you don't like, but at least you get paid every time.
Pretty true.
Yeah, you know, and it makes me think about something I always talk about, and it's just the psychology. And I think that's what, you know, Bill is kind of alluding to, is people are psychological creatures, right? I mean, a lot of the job has to do with how you make people feel. And there's, you know, there's doing the work and doing a good job, you know, and all the trappings of that, you know, showing up on time, you know, having a good attitude. But it's just knowing how people think and work and being able to, you know, appeal to them on a human level, know what they're looking for, and how to give them, you know, what they're looking for, and make them, you know, and make it a good experience for them.
Yeah, because like a lot of times it's not always tied to money. A lot of people could be looking for something that's totally non-related to money. I know like one of my best employees at Ames is not money driven whatsoever. Like his favorite part about his job is like helping customers, or even helping other people that work for us like solve in-house problems. Like and those are cool people to have in your thing. But like if you tried to sweeten the pot and like say, well, if you do this, I'll get you a raise, like, and that's not really going to motivate him. So knowing people's personalities, so you can know how to motivate them to get, you know, the best person for your dollar, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The other thing we instituted, and I guess depends on the size of your business, but we're giving out referral money to our current employees to bring in other employees. We're doing $250. We'll give them $100 immediately when they get somebody that gets hired. The other 150 after the guy makes it 90 days to make sure he's not a slug. But he gets the other 150 on his 90th day on the job. That way, that guy's secured, and the one that brought him in, you know, at least got the 100 right away, and he gets the other 150 later. That's turned out really good. We instituted that about 6 months ago, and I think we've got 15 employees by instituting that.
Nice.
And they were good ones too. They really were. There's some service office, try and get some veterans too that are coming back looking for work. And there's organizations you can contact that their job is to try and place veterans. That's another opportunity to look at.
We did that in Austin for a good while and had some decent luck, but then also had some bad luck as well. But the recruiters were sending us stuff. It's crazy. Like if you're going to play the commercial game, you get recruiters sending you top tier employees in your email inbox all day, every day, you know?
Yeah. For only $150,000.
That's all they want, right?
Yeah.
So the job market's really tight here now. And, you know, when we send guys into homes, we have to do background checks, drug screening checks, both for our insurance and driving our vehicles and going into a home. And if they have a felony, we can't hire them. But I know I've got a good friend that's in the concrete business, and he told me right now he's taken up to 2 felonies.
Three's the line.
Three's the line, but I'll take 2.
The government actually gives you a tax credit for hiring felons.
Yeah, hiring guys out on parole or just released. Yeah, they do.
Right.
Yeah, and if
What's up, boys?
somebody doesn't have to go into somebody's home, then you know there's not that much of a liability there, right?
Yeah, we take them in the factory. We can put them in the factory, but we just can't send them out to homes.
What's up, Dan?
How are you guys?
Nice and
Right
cold up
here.
north, Dan?
It's not too bad right now. I think it was in the 60s today. I was
I saw
down the
Min-
shore.
Yeah, Minnesota had snow yesterday. I saw the Red Sox game.
Oh.
It was snowing there.
We had a little dusting here in Denver last night, but it was warm today.
Yeah.
So how are you guys doing as far as turnover goes with employees? I mean, are you able to maintain, employees? Are you able to keep them around?
We hold them. That's never the problem. Like holding them is easy for us.
They won't go away.
Yeah, it's
Can't make them leave.
even the ones that quit for the grass is greener, they're always like, hey man, I made a bad mistake. And they want to call me personally on my cell phone. Like, I cut myself short. I thought it was going to be better. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you get for chasing a dollar, man. Like, sorry, like, come back in a year, maybe maybe I'll feel differently.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
really do that.
I
Dude,
definitely wouldn't. If someone just left for chasing a dollar, I'm not going to bring them back. Definitely
Yeah.
not.
I think it's worth it to
yeah,
let them go.
loyalty means a lot, doesn't it?
Loyalty definitely means a lot. Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely when you're trying to build something, like everyone on this call, the reason you're all showing up is because you're trying to build something big, something cool, something, a legacy and stuff like that. And like, you can't do that without key players, people you can put your trust and your confidence behind, so that loyalty really means something compared to all these guys that want to go get a new job every 6 months for 50 cents an hour, $1 an hour. And it's just like, they're just not seeing the big picture. And sometimes I just want to put it on a map and like show it to them,
Right. And those kinds of decisions reveal something about a person's character too, and their decision-making abilities. I mean, you need people who can make smart decisions and see the long game. And those are all things, those are all character traits that get revealed.
Well, and you also think, is it like the younger tradition? They're like, a new iPhone comes out every 6 months and you want the new iPhone, and then they change the model truck every year. So you want the new truck, right? So it's like, it's ingrained in your head to like always want new. They're getting new. They're being entertained and not being bored at all times. So like, how do you make sure that they stay like entertained at your place and don't go chasing that shiny object?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like hiring glass guys anymore.
Right.
Like, if you say that you have experience, that's like a negative to me. I feel like
I'm
anybody
right with
who's in this industry is they're just all rough humans. This pandemic allowed me to get people from all types of industries, and every single person that doesn't claim to have background in glass has been the best employees and installers I've ever had. But if you say you've been working at a glass company, they're the people who are late twice in the first week of work, or whatever. They're the ones in jail and all the other stuff. It's crazy.
So true. So it's not just Florida, huh? Everybody has that.
Yeah.
That's why I think like something as powerful as this group right here, like we can kind of change that stigma and kind of make this, if we keep working at this together, it could be a lot bigger than just us joining up on Wednesday nights. We could collaborative make something that attracts people to our industry nationwide. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I think us meeting up like this and communicating and talking about the problems and solving those problems together, we can make enough noise in the industry to attract some good players into our world and change the stigma.
Yeah, I was thinking something right along those lines just before you said that, Chance, about just how different this is. Just us having this discussion than things have been in the industry my entire life. I mean, all of my experience, and I did an apprenticeship. I was a union glazer. I've did an apprenticeship. Was out with the journeymen or various journeymen. Who were supposed to teach me the trade, and some did, and some didn't. And people had attitudes about their skills or craft or their knowledge about guarding it, being afraid for other people to find out their secrets and stuff like that. and how harmful that was to the industry, and not really just the industry, but to that individual. You know, we
Mhm.
really rob ourselves when we're selfish. You know, and it's something that selfish people don't get, and they never will. That you know, the old thing like you can't keep what you have unless you give it away. And just this process of getting together kind of around this table here and talking and comparing notes and giving each other, you know, advice, you know, I think is something really that has incredible potential to change things in our industry, and we need it.
Mhm. It reminds me
Brandon
of that
always,
saying. Go ahead, Chance.
no, Brandon always says, pass the knowledge like a hot potato. The more you can pass off the knowledge that you know, I'm surprised he didn't jump in and intervene and say that. He says it so much, but
Right.
pass it off like a hot potato. People are so scared to share it, but the people that train and teach it, the more you can train and teach it, the more value you're going to have in any industry, in any facility. So you're going to get moved up. You're going to be seen as a commodity. Like this guy not only knows how to do it, but he's multiplying himself time and time again.
Mhm.
He's a lot more valuable player than the guy that just knows how to do it, but doesn't know how to teach anyone else to do it his way. And you know, so I share that knowledge. There's a
Yeah,
go
I don't know
ahead,
who
Greg.
said it. I'm stealing it from somebody with the old saying, you know, what if we develop our people and they leave? And the alternatives, what if we don't develop them and they stay?
Yeah,
You know, it's
Yeah.
first passing knowledge on.
that's yeah, there's a big guy in like the tech world, Gary Vaynerchuk, but he always says you can give 99.9% of all of the stuff you know, all the knowledge you know, give it away for free. You can give your entire business plan away for free because people have too big of egos and they're not going to execute and take action. Everyone just talks and they get so stuck and caught up in the way they do things that no matter, you could say, hey, I got $100 million glass business plan that if you just execute this step by step without veering away from the plan, in 10 years, you'll own $100 million glass company. And everyone on this, you know, that's listening on the Facebook Live, everyone would go, as soon as they got to step 2, yeah, that sounds good, but I'm going to do it a little bit different and I'm going to change it up and it's going to be better. Even though this dude promised you a clear outline, you know, everyone's going to change it up. So you can give it all away. So sharing all of our knowledge on here, none of us have any tricks that no one else hasn't tried or is trying, you know, like some of us are just better at executing on them and saying no to more things so we can say yes to the right things like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and that's kind of it's kind of like that. I mean, there's you know, Bruce Lee used to do this things when he would teach a new student, and he would take like a glass of water and and say, you know, this glass of water is like everything you know. And it's like, and just fill it up to the very brim, and it's like there's no way I'm going to get into you what I need to get, you know, the new information in unless you get the old information out. You know, and it's like by giving away what you have, what you know, you're actually making room, you know, in your brain for new information. And you know, if you just kind of hunker down and like say, oh, this is, you know, this is my information and I'm not going to tell anybody, it's my secret. It's like you're stuck with that. Yeah, I mean, you'll never have anything more than that. You know, it's like the hole you receive through is never bigger than the hole you give through. You need a bigger hole.
Heck yeah. I really like that water analogy was, I never heard that one. I know like the Bruce Lee saying where he says, I fear the man that does the same kick 10,000 times compared to the man that knows practice, or the man that practiced the same kick 10,000 times compared to the man that practiced 10,000 kicks one time.
Oh, Bruce
Simplify.
Lee. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, we're the greats. Where's the Bruce Lees of the glass business?
Right. That's you.
Where's Bill's out there somewhere.
So is there anybody here who's like really having a hard time retaining employees that has big turnover problem?
Everyone on here, is anyone checking the chat and the
Oh
feed?
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
watching it.
Perfect.
Yeah, any questions out there in the greater group area? Just go ahead and put them in the comment section if you want.
Yeah, for us, the big thing we've been working on is recruiting right now. Growing like crazy, trying to recruit. I think Brandon's been interviewing like 2 people a day or something like that in Phoenix right now or something. So
Yeah, it's
trying.
been always interviewing, see what's out there. It's only going to get worse. The busier we get, everyone gets.
Something that we've really been trying to do is just constantly be recruiting. So we're like always have ads out. We're always hiring. It does take like a little bit of an HR adjustment and everything. And I know that's harder for some of the small guys, but even if you can like, hey, apply, you can respond to them through text message to keep it easy. And then the ones that you do like, set up Zoom interviews. You don't have to meet with anybody, meet them on Zoom like we're doing right now, after work, on the weekends. Try to keep you like 2 or 3 good candidates in your pocket that you can pick from. So you're not just like, hey, we're so busy, I need to hire the next, the next guy that walks through the door so I can have an extra set of hands. Cause I feel like that's when most of us hire, is out of desperation. And those hires never work out well. They don't last long. You don't want to put your efforts into training them. But I think like most of the time, nobody's hiring until they just need hands desperately, right?
So we got to put all of our installers through a test, or potential installers through a test. I give them a written test and a verbal test, but we have different lengths of channel laid out there, different parts. We're asking them to measure it, tell us what the measurement is. We give them fraction tests to see if they can find the lowest common denominator and make those subtractions. So if they're out on a job and a guy tells them to take 3/4 of an inch off, can they figure it out? Do they know where it's got to come back at? Can they read the tape measure? So we do give them some of those tests before we even get them to the second interview. And it weeds out a lot of people. It really does. I also try and have them write a paragraph or 2 about what they expect out of the job, just to see if they can write, see if they can read and write. So we don't tell them what to do. We have them read a paragraph, explain what to do, and then see if they do it. Because there are a lot of guys that are illiterate, and you don't realize it till after a week or 2, or you have them write a report about the job. How'd it go? Was it an incomplete? What was wrong? And then you find out that they can't even write, and they'll make every excuse. Oh, I forgot, I called it in. And you're realizing you're really working with somebody that needs an awful lot of help and shouldn't have been hired to begin with, or at least not put into that position.
My favorite question in an interview is asking if they know how to read a tape measure. When they respond yes, then you give them the what's 3/16 plus 5/8 or something like that, and see if and then they pause and they're like, maybe you don't know how to read a tape measure.
Because if they don't know fractions, they can, and if they know how to read a tape measure, they can do fractions by just subtracting it by using a tape measure as a calculator.
Yeah.
So you just want to see if they have any kind of awareness at all.
Yep.
What are you guys running for trucks? So I see on the Facebook page all different types of trucks out there.
We got trucks
Switched
and
everything
vans.
to the Ford Transits.
So that's what we're using now. We had the ProMasters, now we're into the Transits. But
Yeah, we had the ProMasters in the beginning when they came out. The bodies don't hold up like the Fords do. The Ford makes a stiffer body. They hold more weight. They're just, it's just a better vehicle. And we switched to the
People
Ford.
at Ford said they changed the industry. Like they've changed the entire service industry on like how they're maintaining and keeping fleet stock and stuff like that. It's been a huge shift.
So there's discussions out there that there's guys that go to Enterprise and buy their Transits through there, and they get it fully outfitted. And now you don't need to buy them, and you can just lease it. And even if you go over the mileage, it's no big deal. They have a really good commercial leasing program.
That's what we just.
So Ford offers a track lease program. I have a couple vehicles that I lease from them, unlimited miles. You can do like a 6-year lease or whatever, and then pay like $100 at the end of your thing as a final payment to own the vehicle. But you can give it back at any time. So you can you can lease it for 5 months and turn around and be like, oh, I don't need it anymore, and you can give the vehicle back fully
Really?
outfitted. Yeah.
They'll call My Glass Truck and put the rack on there and everything for you before you get
Yeah.
it. And some of the racks they're keeping in inventory at some of their bigger facilities. Like we're in Austin at one location, and their Houston facility has racks in stock of the Ohana brand and the some My Glass Truck brand. So that way, whenever someone buys one, they can outfit it, get it to you even quicker, and then they'll just rebuy stock from My Glass Truck.
So you're carrying glass outside your truck. You're not putting it in the transits.
We carry it in and out, but sometimes we do big glass that won't fit on the inside. So we'll use windshield racks on the inside of the vans
Yeah.
for all the shower doors, and then large mirrors or large piece of glass we have on the outside.
Okay.
Have you tried any of the pull-out rack, Bill? The inside van pull-out lean rack?
Yeah.
It's so
We looked at
expensive.
them. Yeah, I looked at them early on. We've kind of got a neat setup now where they haven't been doing that. And on the monster pieces, I just have D3 with the big delivery truck deliver it right to the job site.
Yeah.
I really don't like putting racks on the outside of the vans. I just don't like it.
I'm not a big fan of it either. But
Always try to
we do a lot of big glass, a lot of big wine fillers out here. So we have big glass gets installed every day. So
I love it when the competitors do it though, because I can see the labels and I can see who they're going to and what jobs they're going to.
right.
You guys using purchase orders or customer names on your jobs?
Use purchase orders.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of the smaller guys are still putting customer names. So you'll see if it's the customer came in your showroom 2 weeks ago, you gave them an estimate.
I learned early on too, whenever we install glass, even if it's a big job on like a commercial railing or something, that we pull all of our tags off when we're done installing it. They don't sit on the glass, so people can't go back and look and check stuff out. So
See where it came from? Yeah.
How about if you go out for estimates and you see somebody else got pencil marks or tape marks all over the threshold, so you know there's somebody done there before you.
yeah, I used to, when I was measuring a long time ago, I'd bring it up. I don't know if any of my guys bring it up, but I would bring it up.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Obviously they didn't go with them, so it's either price or they didn't like the person.
Yeah, and that's usually what I would say. I was like, oh, it looks like someone already measured this before. Did you not like what they were offering, or what brings me out here?
Exactly.
Everything now is we do everything pre-sold, so it's pre-sold. So if I get out there and there was something like that, I would ask, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you came in, I saw your ad, and then you gave us a price, and we liked the customer service better, so we just went with you guys, even if we weren't like cheaper, and it was more expensive. They just liked like the flow of things."
Yeah.
Hey, so backing up a little bit, you started talking about leasing trucks, and did you say enterprise?
Yeah. Enterprise, Tom Whitaker told me this yesterday. That's what he's been doing. And you tell them what you want for racks and they'll set it all up for you. They'll send it out to Adrian Steele. They'll get all the racks set up for you. You tell them the way you want it, it'll be delivered to you that way.
Ford too, you can go straight to Ford, and it's the same.
They'll outfit it for you and then lease it to you.
So with
And
my
then
Ford
lease it.
guy, I call my Ford guy and say, hey, I need a van. He literally doesn't take, they already have all my information from the vehicles I buy. They literally give me is this a good price? Yep. They come to my office, I sign paperwork, and they deliver the vehicle to me.
Never even go to Ford now.
That's your local dealer?
Yeah.
It's my local fleet dealer that I built a relationship with. Yep.
Cool.
The last 5 trucks we bought, they just delivered them to our front door, just like showed up, and you come to the morning, and before everyone else shows up to work, they're there, you're done, keys are handed, they're like, all right, thanks. And then they get in an Uber or someone carpooled them over there and they took off.
Yeah.
But
No more
leasing
sitting
the
in the
vehicles,
box.
right? Leasing the vehicle is nice just because you can always I'm a big fan of having new vehicles. I think our oldest vehicle is a 2016. Everything from there is 2019 and 2021. But just having a nice fleet, because we do really, we're in $25 million homes. So pulling up with an old 1996, van,
Well, it's nice.
oil just isn't.
Yo, take it easy,
reliable,
man.
too.
That's what I ride in.
Take it easy.
When you know that the
Man.
van's newer,
Come
and
on.
it's not going to be in the shop and broken down, and then you got a workhorse down and you're trying to figure things out and like borrow one of your employees' trucks to throw an A-frame in the back or something, like, newer vehicles help with that. So
So are you guys getting them lettered or wrapped, or
Yeah,
is it coming?
we fully wrap all ours.
They'll even
So
wrap them.
are
You can
getting
even
them
work
wrapped
the
before
wrap
they're
into the
delivered
lease.
then?
What's that, Greg?
You getting them wrapped before they're delivered or after?
Usually I'll wrap them. I don't get mine outfitted. I outfit them myself. We just put one inside rack in there and then order the rack from my glass rack or my glass truck.
Shout
and put
out
it
to
in.
Jersey.
But, we'll we have a local company that wraps it for us. A buddy of
Right.
mine, so.
But they will, like, you can, like, Ford, we're getting 2 new ones right now in Austin, and they're like, you want to work the wrap into the lease, and we just
Yeah.
rolled it right in, and so they're going to show up wrapped already and all that with the racks and all that. First time doing it that way, but be kind of cool to see.
I tell you, if anyone needs trucks, you better get them now because there is a chip shortage on that too.
We had to go to Colorado. We had to go to Phoenix to buy the last 2 trucks because we couldn't get one in the whole state of Colorado, like months after months looking and looking. So Brandon's guy
The
in Phoenix
vans,
found them.
the Ford Transits are they're hard to get right now. They're still hard to get, and Amazon actually has the first shipment going to them from the factory. They purchased all of them up, so and that's why we ended
Damn
up
Bezos.
getting a truck, an F-250, for our bigger jobs because we carry base shoe and stuff like that. So it's harder to carry on the vans. So we ended up just going and getting an F-250 just because we couldn't find a van.
That's all we're running.
Bill,
Does
are you
anybody
going
use any
to,
box trucks? Sorry.
no box trucks. I know some guys down in Florida that do like the impact glass and stuff like that. That'll do the full units, and they run some box trucks just to carry all those units and stuff like that. But I don't know any glass truck guys doing that. Bill, are you going the mid-high ones or the full height?
I've got a couple of each. No, I've got 2 full height ones and the rest of them are the mid-high.
Yeah.
And the reason is some of the full height ones on the high rises, they can't get under the parking area.
Yeah.
So then the guy's got to carry glass in from a long distance. It's a pain.
I used to work in high rises in Houston back in the day, and my boss, he wouldn't get new trucks because he had these 1994 single cab trucks that were low to the ground, and he had these low body steel racks put on them where the rack pretty much drug the ground, but it was still a 6 foot tall rack, so it went up above, but we could go inside the parking garages with the glass. So it was like, they were game changers. So he was like, I'm not getting no big F-250. And then you got to haul the glass up elevators and flip it around corners. He was like, I could take that right up on my truck. And so he kept those 94 pickup trucks for.
Yeah, we used to use the old Toyotas, the dually Toyotas that they had with the well-go racks on them that were super small, short, down in San Diego to get in parking garages and stuff.
You see the people like in Australia, they're not Toyotas, but they use a lot of those like flatbed trucks and stuff like that for in other countries for their glass trucks.
Great having your rack really low to the ground too, because you don't have to lift the glass as high to get it on and off the.
Yeah, and all the new racks, if you put a rack on a bed, it doesn't support that much weight. Like, I think it's only like a 300-pound limit you're supposed to support on a bed rack. So like our 2016 2500 Chevy that we have, it's a chassis mounted well-go rack, so it holds a lot more weight. That's just a workhorse. So
a lot of people don't even touch it. Like when people install those racks themselves, they won't even install the brackets. So then you start seeing their tailgates separate and all that good stuff because they half-ass did it, probably like they did their job, but
I saw a guy put a glass rack up on the rain rail, the water rail up on the top, and it just started peeling the roof off. So right at the seam where the roof comes across to the vertical edge, they just clamped it on right there all the way to the glass, just started peeling the sheet metal right off.
I took a overhang off of a Burger King as soon as I got my license, going through the drive-through one day.
My son did that.
I saw a picture the other day online of a full-size commercial glass truck, like the big one. I'm sure you have it, right, Bill? The big A-frame one that you can put it in the center too in the back. It was on the East Coast and it was overloaded with IGs and the whole rail just snapped and all the IGs came crashing down. Like it just gave out.
Wow.
It was pretty intense.
Well, I saw the video you posted the other night of somebody trying to put window unit in like a high rise, and they lost it and came down about 6 floors. Didn't you
I
post
think
that?
that was Dustin Anderson
Oh,
posted.
Dustin posted it. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like,
Where's he
wow.
at? Where's he now?
He's in Waco.
Waco. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a crane one. Do you guys see that crane one where they're pulling that crane down? They're pulling that piece of metal down, and it would just bounce. The crane operator lost control of it, and no one had a tagline. There was no tag, and the thing was just skipping across the new curtain wall, just breaking flat.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Oh
Yes.
man.
Yeah,
Great.
taglines.
Crazy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, good to use a tagline.
Yeah, pretty important.
So,
Yeah, Chris, you got to reach out to Max and Dustin and get them on this.
Yeah, I totally will, man. I've never seen Dustin around in the group. I don't know if he comes around here.
He's
Yeah.
Hollywood, man.
Yeah,
I
there you go.
know. He's
Yeah, he's
big
big
time.
time.
Big time, you know, it's cool. I understand. He can wear his sunglasses, you know, if he wants to. But yeah, definitely Max. I have to get Max on here.
He'd love it. He'd eat it up.
Yeah,
He'd eat it up. What else are we talking about?
absolutely.
how you outfitting the inside of your vans? Like, what kind of racks are you using inside your vans?
We just built, it's not an A-frame, it's just one. So we're putting the glass against one side, got wooden rack there, carpeted the floor. It comes with the rubberized one from Ford, right? It's outfitted that way. We
Yeah.
put a 2x12, carpeted it. And then what I've got is the strap racks. So we're sitting the glass on the side, sliding them in. I bought these 4x8 sheets of cardboard, and we put them between every single panel. And then we just take the big strap and clamp it in.
Oh, cool.
That's 95% of our glass. So the guys are taking 2 to 3 jobs a day.
Yeah.
Tell them your methodology for setting up your vans.
Oh, the reason I did is when I started in Massachusetts, I was hiring part-time guys and they were firefighters. And the firefighters up there also drove the ambulances. And they had a big deal that every single ambulance they were in had to be set up identically. So that if somebody called out and had to jump in another ambulance and it was an emergency, they knew exactly where every item was. There was no second guessing. So we set our trucks up the exact same way. Every bin is identical. So my manager, he can inventory the trucks in the morning and he knows that this drawer has these screws in it. And this bin should have these hinges in it on every single truck. Then we set up our inventory sheets that way and he just double checks everybody, make sure that they're stocked. But every truck is absolutely identical.
Yeah, that's good to do it that way. I got vans because a rolling glass shop in the beginning when I was just a one-man guy back in the day, you know, you can have everything locked up in your van, you know, and keep everything in there and not have to worry about locking it up outside or getting weathered. And if it's raining, all your glass is inside and all that, and it just keeps everything nice and clean. So,
Brandon's partner out in Denver was an EMS for 10 years. So his mindset is the same. So as we've been growing out here, we've been trying to replicate the same. And then I went back to Austin and did exactly what you're saying, Bill. It's hard to battle the guys. I think that's what Brandon still at Phoenix lets the guys kind of run a little bit different because they really like to rig their own trucks out and stuff like that. And that's been my battle with that, is because we've always let them rig their trucks out, and we've been making a big transition from commercial to residential, and my commercial guys that are used to commercial, they like having all of their tools, you know. They're not going to get into one of those situations and not have that. And I'm like, dude, we're installing shower doors and wine cellars and mirrors, like you can leave that stuff at home. The truck is rigged out, like you don't need all that. And they're bringing pack out after pack out, strapping them in the bed of the trucks. And like, yeah, it's so that's been a hard transition, is getting them to like, hey, the truck's rigged out. Yeah, I'm just going to bring my stuff just in case, you know, I'll have it there too. And like,
I might need my vinyl roller. You never know.
you never know.
Security blanket.
I don't know how many of you guys read business books and how to scale a business and things, but you know, in business, there's what they call the 3 Ps. And it's pretty much the same for every business. It's people, product, and process.
Right.
But you got to have a product that everybody wants to buy. I think our industry has that. You got to have the right people, and then you have to have a process. And the process is where most businesses are lacking. If you're not organized, you don't have a process, you can't scale it.
Right.
And that's where I struggled for many, many years, not having a set process. So when Chase is saying how this guy wants to bring his own tools and this, that, he's changing what the company culture is. If everyone buys into the process, it'll go smoothly. But when he starts making changes and doing it his way, because that's the way they used to do it in another glass shop, or you got to use my tools, that's where it gets disorganized. You don't go to a McDonald's in Colorado and find it different than the Colorado in New York or Florida. The McDonald's are the same because they follow the process, and that's what makes it successful.
I think mine was more like I took over my uncle's company. That's a 35-year-old company. So it's taking over a business and bringing in new ideas and transitioning somebody from the old way. It's not like he's a new hire. These are guys that have been there for 20 plus years, and then trying to, hey, I'm the new kid on the block. It's my company now. I run it a certain way. We're going to get more strategic and more process driven, and breaking those old habits with inside that has been more my challenge.
There's a really good book for anybody that likes to read that I just finished. Systemology is a really good book for systems.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Because your business you can never scale your business without systems, and then if you don't have systems, you're involved in your business. So once you build your business to have systems, you're able to step back and let your business run.
Yeah, you can
have a
set up
favorite book,
dashboards.
Bill?
Go ahead.
You have a favorite book?
Traction. Traction by Gene Wickman. Yep, there you go. Yep.
This is the book I'm reading right now. I just
Now
started
the follow-up is Entrepreneurial Leap.
Entrepreneurial Leap?
Yeah, same guy, Gene Wickman.
Did you guys do EOS, Bill?
I got it right here. I haven't read it yet. Is that the Who, right? Craig, is that the book called the Who, EOS?
EOS is based on traction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like the
that's-
system inside there.
That's the whole system he sets up to evaluate employees, making sure they're in the right seat. on the
Another
bus.
good one on, if you like that one, a really good one by Vern Harnish for scaling is Scaling Up.
Yeah.
He breaks it down.
That's a
into
very
people,
good book.
People, strategy, execution, and cash.
Yeah.
And if you want my favorite book of all time, since we're talking books, it would be this guy right here.
Come on, Art of the Deal.
No.
Part of the deal, yeah.
Play bigger.
2024.
This one's next level. It'll get your brain thinking totally different, outside of the norm.
Nice.
Open up, but that one's really, really good for big thinkers.
Getting intellectual for glass guys, aren't we?
Yeah, it's fun though, because these are like, when you talk to just your employees all day, it's hard to get into these conversations, but all of us here, owners driving towards the same goal. So, I mean, we all have a lot of things in common. It's nice to have these conversations.
So I've been reading on a lot of the other Facebook groups. Anyone experienced shortage in glass?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Frosted glass in Colorado, but none of our other locations.
Rain glass. I heard something about rain glass. Rain glass, it's kind of a little shortage.
Yeah, I was listening to guys that are having a hard time getting 3/8 clear.
Yeah,
I saw that too. I saw that too, and I'm like,
Yeah,
I haven't heard from anybody. Oh, all right. Glass show, who's going? It's going to be in Atlanta live this year.
yeah,
I'll
we'll
be there.
They announced it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I thought they would have skipped Atlanta and did it in Vegas, since they skipped Vegas because of COVID. But I guess I would have thought Vegas would have opened up live before Atlanta. But
September.
October, I think.
is it October? I thought it was September.
I thought they would have skipped Atlanta and did it in Vegas, since they skipped Vegas.
I don't know why.
Somebody's on bad delay.
Yeah, that's Tim.
Take care of that, Chris.
Yeah, keeping an eye on it.
I thought it was October, but I'll have to check. But yeah, it's supposed to be live. It'd be great, Chris, if you could get us together.
Yeah. I mean,
It
I don't
sounds
know.
like we were all there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there last time by myself. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll go to Atlanta. You know, if it was in Vegas, I probably would, but I'm not sure. We'll have to see, play it by ear. I mean,
Why not Atlanta?
just, you know, it's too far away.
Or
for
6-hour
me, you
flight.
know? Yeah. Well, you know, I have this problem with conformity. So it's like, I probably won't be able to get on a flight. Yeah, because I don't play.
September.
I don't play along very well
Mhm.
with the
By then,
rules.
by then you might
stuff
be
like that.
fine. September 12th to September 15th.
It is September, okay.
You would drive to Vegas, Chris?
Yeah, drive to Vegas.
I'll drive to Atlanta. So
Yeah. How far are you from Atlanta?
6 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's easy.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we could just road trip, Chris. I'll come pick you up. And we'll just
That'd
road
be
trip
awesome,
over,
man.
You know, or we'll get the RV. We'll get in the RV and just like do a cross country tour. Stop at everybody's shop on the way.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking my language.
Road trip.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
You know, like I was saying, Tom Whitaker was in my place yesterday, and he's had a glass group, I'd say for 10 years, where I think there's 20 guys in the group. And what they do is each year go to one of the guys in the group's shop, and they'll all meet there and then go play golf. It's kind of cool where you get to see other guys' business and you can pick certain things that you like, and then you're going to learn from them also.
Mhm.
It's kind of a neat thing. You get groups together here.
Are you-
I heard that somewhere. I forget what other industry I saw that in, that someone else was doing something like that.
Yeah, it's what they call best practices, right? You just talk about the best things that work and what worked for you and what doesn't work for you, and you can
We
learn
talked
from the
about
other
doing
guys.
something like that, even just like a mastermind of some kind, or just meeting up somewhere for like a 3-day intensive where you kind of like go over best practices, like what's working, but like walk out of there with like an action plan on, you know, attacking a certain goal or something like that.
Sounds like you sound like quarterback. Chance, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Do an owners retreat, man. We need it.
Let's
Yeah,
do
that'd be
it.
good. That'd be
You
good.
want to go somewhere where we got like a big mansion everyone stays at, or more of a resort style place everyone rents a room?
Yeah, I like that.
Either way.
Hot
Either
place,
way.
I like the first option myself.
big mansion.
Yeah, it's the private, you know.
Get like something with like 15 rooms. Everyone gets a private room.
Yeah. To the beach. I don't know.
Just go to
There you
Bill's
go.
house.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, they
Go out on a party boat.
Right?
There we go. I used to own a cigar lounge, and we used to throw a party every year called Smoke on the Water. And I'd rent the biggest yacht on South Shore Harbor. And then you had to buy a ticket to get on, and you got all kinds of cigars, but everyone would be smoking. So this big yacht would be going and smoke would just be barreling out of the top of this thing. We'd have a live band and everything, but it was really cool. Like people would fly down from New York, and we had a lot of people from Florida that own some other really big shops or own cigar companies. And it was a great party every year. So I'd love to do something like that for Glass.
That
Get it
sounds
done.
cool. Yeah,
Ooh,
that sounds awesome.
I'm going to put it together. I got you guys votes.
All right, cool.
I'm in.
All right. Hey, Chris, I'm going to give you guys another tip for marketing that's turned out really well.
Okay.
Especially if anyone's living near golf areas. Like if you're a member of Chamber of Commerce or any of these organizations, the building association, they always have golf tournaments. What we do is I go to them and I say, if you want to raise some money, you know, you get your 50-50 raffle and you get your typical stuff. Let's have some fun. And we have a contest called Break the Glass. And what we'll do is we'll get a realtor's sign and we'll insert glass there and put a sign behind it, bring it to the driving range, put it out about 30 yards. So they got to hit a low stinger and break the glass. So I'll bring maybe 20 sheets of 1/4-inch plate glass and then put it in there. And the guys just they'll throw $5. I want to break it. I want to break it. And it's a hell of a money raiser, but you put your sign behind it. So, you know, Showcase Innovations presents Break the Glass. So all you get your sign guy, put a little foam board behind it, and then you just 1/4-inch clear and just stick it in these little realtors stick in the ground signs. On big tournaments, you could set up 3 locations on the driving range, put a plastic tarp or a moving blanket underneath it. So if the glass falls, just let it fall. And at the end, you just kind of roll it up, put it in the barrel and take it out. but it costs you like one person's got to stay there and man it. But the advertising you get out of it is amazing.
That's cool.
Very inexpensive.
I like that one. I heard we use House Call Pro, and I'm in for our service group, and they have like a whiteboard Wednesday. It's kind of like what we're doing here for the glass business. But someone gave a good marketing tip on there the other day, where they took a gift card or a prepaid card, Visa card. They go down to the local coffee shop or something like that, and they say, "Hey, we just want to buy a random customers drinks," and they'll preload the card with like $100 on it, take their sticker, and he made little stickers that said, "Hey, your drink was free thanks to, you know, Showcase shower doors," and they'll put them on every few cups. And as that cup comes out, if it has the sticker on it, it's like, "Hey, your drink is free, don't worry about it." And it has their sticker on it, and then he handed it out. So he went around to local coffee shops, all the local mom and pop shops, and worked those deals out. And he said it's doing like 5x what his Google ads are doing as far as ROI.
Pretty cool.
Dude, that's brilliant,
It is
man.
brilliant.
And so they notice you're a local company, they like it, they already got a free gift, so now they trust you. They're gonna look you up, and even, you know, if they don't need you, they're gonna refer you to somebody. So I really like that one.
I'll give
Break
you
the glass I like too.
I'll give you a simple one that my wife and I have done. You know, everybody wears the company shirts, right? You know, I've got them logoed, but I don't know how many guys put their website on their back.
Yeah.
Because when you're standing in line, that's when people are staring at you. So if you're standing in line at wherever, whether it was a theater, going out to dinner, whatever, you wear it and it's on the back, they'll concentrate on it.
Mine say, "Are you looking at my glass?" And then it has our website underneath.
Dude, this stuff is priceless, man.
It
I mean,
is.
this is some awesome information, man. If you guys are out there watching, good for you, man. You're smart to be here right now.
Oh, it's good marketing stuff.
Yeah. So how does that?
That free drink thing, dude. I'm gonna go put that
That's
in
perfect. In a
practice.
small town like yours, Chris, in Santa Cruz, where it's real quaint like that,
Yeah.
that's like the ideal market for that. Like a huge city, you'll get swallowed up. You might still get some recognition, but like one of those local towns like that's a money maker right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Love it. Well, hey guys, it's about 6:28. I'm gonna wrap it up so I can go have my dinner at 6:30. Any last thoughts?
Thank you guys so much for always hopping on here. I enjoy these weekends. It's like my new buddies, you know. Thanks for hopping on.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Hey, Bill.
Take it easy, everyone.
So.